I don't want to be too pessimistic. I still remain optimistic that there's room for improvement, and all of us must work together in ensuring that this process improves. Although this is a very trying moment, but I think that is at the end of the whole process. I will now evaluate the outcome, and it's true that at least one will be able to weigh the pros and cons of the whole process. You can see that as I speak out, I'm almost losing my thoughts because I've been going around since morning, also trying to appeal to people, some of them down on me. I'm also making sure that I'm trying to help to, so that the electorate will not really become too apprehensive. I believe that the process itself, at the end, will then weigh all options to know how we evaluate the whole process.
Is it, do you think, going to be determined by the numbers that come back in terms of how they fit into the overall results that we get? And here I'm talking specifically about the percentages of areas that have been affected by these challenges that INEC is experiencing with the PVC reader machines.
Yes, a lot of challenges. We've really faced lots of challenges today. We have some of our old people who their fingerprints could not even be reflected. Not only that, we had some units that were series of complaints. The accreditation was going on manually. All of a sudden, they abruptly stopped it. And some people had to leave. We don't really want anyone to be disenfranchised. For the few people that have left out of frustration, probably some of them will not even come back. But in terms of credibility of the whole process, and also the family, those who were able to wait, all through, I know that, it might affect the process in some way, but really, I don't really want us, to give up.
But doctor, let me just ask you this question.
I'm also going back to some of the communities, some people who left, I tried to tell the people around that combined with some of them rely so much on their leaders in terms of maybe bad people to speak. Let's combine names and see a few people that have left annoyance or frustration to see what the figure.
Given the fact that not everybody who registers to vote traditionally actually goes ahead and vote, is there realistically any way of collating these particular figures to be able to sort of pass them on to INEC?
Yes, like you already observed, first and foremost, not really everyone who register will even come out to vote. And then there's some of them, for instance, this particular polling unit, everyone says where at Adekule Banjo, in the morning when people were given paper, not INEC officials, concerned citizens among them, some picked number as far as 740. But later on this evening, collecting some of the figures in terms of the results that have been declared for Rep and Senate, we could see that it's just like 500 plus. So in collecting the figure in terms of the number of those who actually came out but then left, it might be a laborious task. But I think that the straight answer I can give is for those who made attempts to give numbers and for those who eventually voted, one might be able to collect the numbers of those who did not come up when accreditation eventually commenced. So it's not going to be 100% accurate, and I think it will have made a positive step in terms of getting to know those who eventually left, who did not vote, and those who decided to stay at home and not showing up. So the figures might not be too accurate, but I think it will go a long way in knowing some of these few persons who came out but eventually left because they did not see anyone suffering until 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Odumakin, for that very elaborate update on your observations of the electoral process, especially through Saturday. Well, it was not just our internal observers who followed up on the elections. Well, we, in the course of the discussion earlier, did mention the fact that the United States ambassador to Nigeria, James Entwistle, remarked that Nigerian voters are patient. Well, he also has been speaking on the presidential elections, but we'll be coming to his own report as soon as it is ready. But then, coming back to...
When he says something like Nigerian voters are patient, that denotes that in some other countries, they wouldn't be that patient.
Let's face it, we had a whole litany of challenges with the process in the first place.
Now, what I can simply say is this. Dr. Odumakin was shy of placing the process, on the platform by saying that the experience so far reported is not enough to now say that one is not credible. The point is, people have suffered some kind of apathy before coming this far. Whether there are those who want a new government or those who want continuity, it is confirmed that everybody that had PVC that could vote wanted to vote. Hence what you saw. Now, where I registered, the film that you showed, the people they were screaming there, they were not children. There were mothers and fathers, landlords, people who own houses. They are not the scums of the earth. Okay? For them to feel so passionate and so bad about not being allowed to vote and singing solidarity songs like that will tell you that people are ready to vote no matter what. They now want their votes to count. Okay? So the system is challenged in as much as it cannot immediately, easily, and effortlessly guarantee that.
Well, perhaps that's one of the reasons
imagine
why.
She said they were voting in Agodo ended at 12 midnight. So right now, they're still collating or counting or doing whatever. That was not what INEC sold to us. And as I said earlier on, if after 6 weeks extension, we're still going through all of this, look back and say how bad it would have been if we had voted 6 weeks ago.
I'll be taking you up on that, but of course, when it comes to the events of today, given what Nigerians have experienced and given what the voters have seen and the fact that some of them actually had to wait until they voted at midnight, having assembled at the polling stations since 8 a.m. in the morning, then of course, I'm sure the United States ambassador to Nigeria was, well, spot on when he said, Nigerians are patient. He did speak with our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi.
Well, I came over here to the compilation center just to say hello to INEC, to lend my support to them, although, as you pointed out, not much is happening yet. But I've been around FCT today, I've been to a few polling places, and I'll tell you, my overwhelming impression is how impressed I am with the Nigerian people, how patient they are to participate in a democratic exercise. The fact that they are willing to wait patiently in line all day in the heat just underlines to me the richness of the democratic tradition in this country. You can tell Nigerians want to vote.
Okay, but you've also, I'm sure, observed some of the difficulties on the field. So
Right.
What's your impression about that?
Well, as I'm sure you've already reported, some of the difficulties I saw were election staff showing up late and so on. And I was watching them use the card readers this morning, and I must say it was a very mixed experience. Sometimes they worked very, very well, very, very quickly. Other times, as you know, they didn't work as well. So I understand the decision that INEC has just announced, that they will now allow, I think they call it manual accreditation. I understand that. Nonetheless, I think the decision to try and use card readers was absolutely correct. The concept of introducing more technology into your elections, I think, was absolutely correct, and I think they did the right thing. And now, as you've reported, as the situation on the ground